Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Matt the Bat's Batshit Shit Show. And today we have a really special guest. We have the one and only, I can't even believe I'm saying this, Billie Eilish in the studio. Come out, Billie, come on. Why would you fall for that? I mean, why the f would Billie Eilish be hanging out with me of all people in this studio of all places? I mean, she's on the cover of British Vogue for God's sakes. I've got 500 subscribers. I mean, she wouldn't even fart in my direction. Why did I say that? That sounds so weird. If you want Billie to even consider farting in my direction, hit that subscribe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But no, the reason I'm actually here is, believe it or not, the show is not all about simping. I want to cover some timely news subjects, you know, kind of give my thoughts and humble opinions on some things that are going on in the world. Think of it as kind of like a part-time Philip DeFranco type of thing. It's just kind of one of those things where I'm going to hop on the mic and just give my raw thoughts, you know, totally unscripted, just let everybody know what I'm thinking. And today I'm talking about that Billie Eilish Vogue interview because I think it's worth talking about. And I understand that the response from a lot of people will be like, Matt the Bat, why are you getting involved? You're a straight white guy. And yeah, you're right. You know what? I am a straight white guy. And that's why I'm talking about this because in my opinion, there's not enough self-reflection from people like me on this subject. And I think we have a lot of learning to do. And it's super interesting to me. And if I could even clarify what's going on in this article even a little bit for one subscriber, then I'm using my platform, my little platform for the big good, you know? So let me clarify that I'm not perfect. I don't know what I'm talking about half the time, but this is just my raw thoughts. So if you want to stick around and hear me rant a little bit, please do. I'd be really happy to have you. So now to the meat and potatoes. Yeah. Oh yeah, I used that. Okay. Alright, so Billie Eilish was recently featured in British Vogue this week, and I gotta say, she looks fucking amazing. I know. Wow, absolutely beautiful. The blonde hair, the outfit, the old school pinup style, it's sick. And I mean, this is definitely a cover that is gonna go down in history. But I think this article might just go down in history as well. I mean, I wanna say, like, every day I just learn that Billie Eilish is so much wiser than the last. I mean, she's so wise beyond her years, and she talks about so much good stuff in this article, so I highly recommend you check it out. The link is in my description below. But also what I realized is so much of Billie being wise beyond her years is attributed to the fact that she kind of had no choice. I mean, she became an absolute superstar at such a young age, and I do remember that first time I heard Ocean Eyes on SoundCloud at the very beginning of her career, and it was almost life-changing. I mean, it was like eerie, but beautiful, and I didn't know anything about her. I didn't know her age, where she was from. I didn't know anything. I just knew this song was a banger and she was gonna be huge. And I was correct. I'm not right very often, but when I am, I'm gonna say it. And I was right because she's Billie fucking Eilish now. With this early rise to stardom, she encountered so many struggles along the way because of her age, and she talks about that in this article. The article goes on to say, Eilish's career is a parade of achievements, mostly concerning her age. She's the youngest winner of the Grammy for Album of the Year. She did a Bond song, I guess, which I didn't even know, but that's freaking cool. And she's the first artist born in the 21st century to have an American #1. Her debut is Spotify's 8th most streamed album ever. Damn, I can't read, but you get the point. She's a lot of accomplishment to such a young age. I was a fucking moron until I was like 22. I mean, I can't imagine having that many accomplishments on your plate before you even turn 19 or 18, whatever. Think about all the greats she passed with that Spotify streamed album. Her debut album became the 8th most streamed album ever. That's insane. But when you kind of think about Billie's fan base, you kind of realize that this makes perfect sense. I mean, her fans are insane. They're absolutely obsessed. And the funniest part is I see so much of my young self in them. They're those weird little teens wearing eyeliner and goth dark clothes, hate themselves, they hate society. And I was that type of kid when I was, you know, a little Green Day obsessed punk. And I'm so happy that kids now have someone to look up to like this for their generation. I wish I had Billie as a role model to me when I was young. She's a legend. We had Avril Lavigne, another legend maybe, but come on, I mean, no shame on Avril, but come on, she's no Billie Eilish, come on. But yeah, I bet you can imagine how hyped I was when I saw Billie Joe Armstrong and Billie Eilish do that Rolling Stone campaign together. I mean, it was absolutely iconic, and Billie Joe Armstrong is someone who's also had his fair share of media drama, you know, from the iHeartRadio meltdown.
Give me a fucking break, 1 minute left. 1 minute left. You're gonna give me fucking 1 minute?
To his outspoken anti-government stances during the Bush administration, and even him openly coming out as bisexual and being asked about it like all the time in the media, and people are like always wanting him to misspeak so they can quote him or something stupid like that when he's talking about his own freaking sexuality. It's so dumb. This is a whole other conversation.
If you don't like it, then f*** off.
But I think there's no better duo, because not just because they're named, but they're just genuinely good people who really make a difference to the youth. I saw it with my generation, and I see it with this one right now. And it's not really hard to understand why fans cling to Billie Eilish. I mean, she's cool. She dresses cool. She's super different. She doesn't claim to be anyone she's not. She's so unique and so herself. But this kind of polarizing difference has come with a lot of backlash from the media, and it's so sad. I mean, she's essentially been sexualized since she was young, followed around by creepy paparazzi men who are old as shit trying to sell photos of her to tabloids who just body shame her for no reason. It's the creepiest shit. Think about it. I mean, she's a teenage girl. She can't even leave to go to the store without some creepy dude taking a picture of her. Imagine being a young woman of celebrity status and you have old paparazzi men following you around 24/7, all while fans are also harassing you for pictures 24/7. And then these photos circulate of you 24/7, all while being like a sweaty, smelly teenager who's just trying to figure out how their mind works and how your body works and what your identity is. And it's insane. But also imagine coming out of that and being as cool and mature as Billie Eilish. I can't. I'd be a freaking mess. And I guess this is why I hopped on the mic, because I wanted to just say kudos to her. I mean, I was so angsty and annoying as a teenager, and she's accomplished this all with the weight of the world on her shoulders for the past couple of years. It's just, I can't even imagine living that life. I mean, they talk about in the article, she did something as simple as change her hair, obviously, from like the iconic black and green look to blonde, which us normal folk do all the time, by the way. I mean, nobody says anything when someone like us changes their hair. It's nothing. But when she posted the photo on Instagram, it became the fastest post to reach 1 million likes, 6 minutes. Within 2 days, it's the third most liked post ever. That's insane. Can you imagine changing your hair and it's the third most liked post in 2 days on the entire platform that is Instagram? If I changed my hair, literally no one would give a shit, and most of the comments would just be roasting my big ass forehead. I get it, it's huge. She's always put in this situation of damned if I do, damned if I don't. I mean, if she dresses in her signature baggy clothes, she's hiding something, right? Everyone asks, did she gain weight? What's going on with Billie? And that's horrific. That's just so sad. Imagine millions of people asking about your weight. Imagine millions of people asking about the way you dress. And imagine how scary it must have been to do something like this massive, groundbreaking Vogue shoot, which is something that she's never done before. Because the reality of this is you can do such an amazing shoot like this and you still get the critics who just chastise you for growing up or evolving or actually showing your skin when they judged you for not showing it before. And then they ask the question, how would your younger self feel about you now? Which is something they talk about this in this article. And they say, we liked you because you didn't care about showing off your body. You cared about making good music. You're not like the rest. And it's just crazy. The article says in detail, they say, more simplistic interpretations of Eilish's aesthetic saw her as hailed as an icon of body positivity and a good example compared with female pop stars who wore less. I mean, that's just kind of crazy thought, honestly. And I like that Billie doesn't really comment on this because she says so what if I wear less? So what if they wear less? Who fucking cares? She's evolving. She's a teenager. She should be. She should not be stagnant. This is the time to change. And for those people who do wear less, why does anyone give a shit? Why are we so wrapped up in what other people are wearing? It's so freaking weird. We need to stay in our own lane. I mean, I'm guilty of this kind of stuff too sometimes. We need to stay in our own lane. God, it's so strange. People think that being famous is so awesome, but to me, it becomes less and less desirable every single day. Because when you're famous, everything you say is held on to forever. And this, you're called a hypocrite for being a normal person who's self-reflective and changes and does things that are different because people like to old you. And this is also something that happens with musicians or even TV. For example, a lot of people want old cartoons to come back, and then they come back and they're like, that's not like the original. It's an evolution. It's not the 1990s anymore. What do you expect? It's I can't believe people get so wrapped up and cling to things so hard and get so upset when it changes. I mean, people are like this in normal life, people who hate change. So I understand, but it's also just weird. Let it go. And in the article, Billie says, suddenly you're a hypocrite if you want to show your skin, and you're easy, and you're a slut, and you're a whore. And if I am, then I'm proud. And I freaking love that, because that's the mindset that we should have. I mean, it's so weird that internet weirdos, incel dudes on the internet, are the ones who deem who's a slut or who's a prude. It's just insane. These are the same people that, if a celebrity nude gets leaked, and they're devastated about it, obviously, because why wouldn't you be? It's like your phone gets hacked and all your nude photos that you're sending to someone that you love or otherwise, get all over the internet. And people are like, well, you've done sex scenes in movies. It's nothing we haven't already seen. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, it's completely different. This is why I hate the internet, because there's no answer to this. Like, people will always be like this. And Billie talks about this in great detail through this article. She talks about getting taken advantage of for men when she was a minor in the music industry and elsewhere, and how it's a real thing, which we've known. And it's crazy she talks about it because it's true. She talks about how people still call her a hypocrite for this because, like, apparently they'll, she thinks that they'll ask, you're gonna complain about being taken advantage of as a minor, but then you're gonna show your boobs. And it's the same thing I was just talking about. Who the f are you? There are layers to this shit, people. Imagine being someone who just loves to make music and connects to their fans on such a unique and deep level, and you have to deal with all this bullshit that comes with it all the time. And this is why this article is so powerful and why Billie Eilish is so powerful, because she just so eloquently explains all these things in ways that many can't due to fear. And I don't blame them either, because that's the kind of culture that we've created around this subject. And she's doing all this at 19 years old. Insane. And the fact that she is 19 years old and saying all this, and we've got to see her grow up, is really so charming. It's such a treat. We've gotten to see her mature through the years and, see her thought process dramatically shift and just like be self-reflective and become an adult. It's crazy. We don't get to see that very often. It's genius. They do like a Vanity Fair series where she reflects on herself every year because she answers a bunch of questions, reflects on her answers from the previous year, and through this, we see how rapidly she's changing, because that's what teenagers do. They should be changing. They should be learning. Would you want yourself to be the same person you were when you were, 14 years old? Like, no, you would never grow up. You'd never become an adult. So why do people judge somebody for doing that? Somebody for changing, somebody for trying new things? It's just crazy to me. So I guess my general thoughts on all of this are, we should be applauding Billie Eilish for being so goddamn real and transparent through all this. I mean, we should be celebrating her growth as an individual. I love how I said this wasn't going to be a Sim Series episode, and then it ended up being just simping the whole time. I can't help myself, I guess. But thank you so much for coming. This was just a little rant, no agenda. Just wanted to talk. As I said earlier, if I could, say one or two things that maybe resonate with somebody, then I'm doing big good for a small show. So that's kind of my mindset going into this. So I'm going to drop these every once in a while. Please subscribe, because I'm going to keep posting these. I have a bunch of things in the backlog that are about to come out, some really cool interviews, some really cool Sim Series episodes. So hit that subscribe button, follow me on Instagram, and tune in next week. Or else.